Crystal. So a major update this morning on financial relief for thousands of Arizonans. Earlier this year, Governor Katie Hobbs announced a major plan that was aimed at wiping out medical debt across the state.
Well, today she is joining us back live this morning on Today in AZ to share the very latest details on what this means for families and where the plan stands. Now, Governor Hobbs, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. And you also have an announcement to share exclusively on Today in AZ.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just are launching our second round of medical debt relief today. This round will include up to 141,000 Arizonans. To date, we've canceled medical debt for nearly 500,000 Arizonans, $682 million. This is huge for folks that are struggling with medical debt, and we know there's so many of them across the state.
Well, yeah, we're looking right now, $642 million of medical debt erased for these almost 500,000 Arizonans who've been dealing with the burden of having those bills come in.
You know, I was reading, there's a recent report that says 12% of all medical debt incurred by Arizonans, they actually end up in collections. So this is, I mean, the effect of this goes so far.
Yeah, I mean, the impact it has on people's lives, people that we talked to before we launched the program, and just understanding the impact it has on them, people with chronic illness, that there's no end in sight for the amount of medical care and bills that they're gonna see. So this is just really meaningful relief. And we partnered with Undo Medical Debt, which is a national nonprofit. They work with the hospitals to identify eligible accounts, and then people will get notices in the mail that their debt is canceled.
Yeah, so that's what I want to come next to, because people are hearing and they're watching saying 141,000. Well, is that me? Could that be me? How do you know if you qualify? Do you have to do anything in order to get these letters?
So there's no application process. Eligible accounts are folks who are 400% or below of the federal poverty level and whose medical debt totals 5% or more of their income. And what they'll see in the mail is an envelope that looks like this. It's on the screen.
Yeah, but they're putting you up too right now.
So it almost looks like a bill. So, but don't throw this away. It has Undo Medical Debt up here in the corner.
That's not a scam.
We're zooming in on it. Okay, and now we'll put this back up here. So look for that Undo in the left-hand corner, because you're right, it does look like we just had a baby, so I'm used to seeing these medical bills come in. But don't throw this away, because you could end up having your medical debt erased here. And Governor Hobbs, we said $640 million, but the goal is much larger than that.
Yeah, the agreement we entered into will cancel up to $2 billion of medical debt. So it just, it's a process to identify the eligible folks.
Are you getting a word like how much some of these people, their medical debt that they were facing, are you guys hearing some of those stories?
So it's anecdotal, right? It's all of this is protected by HIPAA privacy laws, and so we can't get a list of like people that got their relief, but we're hearing anecdotally, and it's just life-changing stories. We heard from a woman who she cares for her mother, and she wakes up every day with just anxiety about the mounting debt, and she doesn't have that anymore. And it was just a really great story.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially when you think about the holidays are basically here.
Yes.
I know sometimes we say around the corner, Christmas is this week, New Year is next week. We're just wrapping up Hanukkah, Kwanzaa will be starting soon. And so to think about going into the new year, not having to worry about this debt that you're saddled with, it will be such a relief for, we talked about how many Arizonans here. I mean, it'll just be unbelievable. And unfortunately, medical high costs for treatment and whatever you're going to do, healthcare, is just really top of mind right now. As we just came out of that historic government shutdown, for Democrats, a lot of them saying that they wanted to hold the line here for expiring subsidies for the Affordable Care Act. I think that a lot of that is going to expire next Wednesday here. Is there anything in the works that maybe your office is talking about or throwing around to try and help those Arizonans who may see their premiums skyrocket?
Well, there's not a lot we can do to address the premium issue. So that's why we're focused on other ways we can help lower costs for Arizonans. This medical debt relief is huge. I just introduced a middle-class tax cut package, which will result in a higher standard deduction for all filers. So I'm hoping to work with the legislature to get that over the finish line at the very first thing this legislative session.
I want to talk about, some of these things that this medical debt that everybody has. One of the issues it leads to affordable housing in Arizona. These people just cannot
Yeah.
get out of debt. They can't get affordable housing. I know in Flagstaff, you just posted online that you just opened up, or they just opened up, this new housing opportunity for people who are at risk. Tell me about that.
We have affordable housing issues across the state. Flagstaff is especially hard hit because the cost of living there is already very high. They're landlocked, and so the availability to build more housing is challenging. And they're kind of at a crossroads where they get a lot of people passing through. It ends up in a lot of extra burden for homeless individuals there. And so this new program that we opened, it's specifically for single adults who are medically vulnerable. And for folks in that situation, being homeless, being in a shelter, a congregate shelter, is just, it exacerbates their medical issues. It makes it harder for them to just get on their feet. And so this is a really unique program that's going to help a lot of individuals.
I know, talking about Flagstaff, and they're so unique there. I was looking at a city report, and it said that a typical home now in Flagstaff, an average home, is like $625,000.
Yeah.
But the average family in Flagstaff, they can only afford a $311,000.
Yeah,
that's a massive gap right there.
Yeah. No, it's huge. And we know that housing affordability is a big issue. It's something that didn't happen overnight, and there's not a one-size-fits-all approach. We're working to get more affordable housing built. Most of that is rental, but we know people want to be able to do home ownership as well. We launched our Arizona is Home program, which provides mortgage assistance or down payment assistance for people who qualify, first-time home buyers. We've helped close to 1,000 families through that program already. So there's a lot more to be done, certainly, but we're chipping away at it.
Is there a goal in mind here of a year maybe in target of when we're supposed to get to, affordability with housing here, and also that we'll have enough? Because we talk a lot about our growing population. We're attracting businesses, expanding like TSMC as well. I mean, these huge facilities that will require more housing there when it's already an issue for people who live here. I mean, so how do you bring all of that together and create a solution that's happy for the businesses, the community, people born and raised here, people moving here?
Yeah, well, it's a complex issue.
Yeah.
If you look at all the studies, the needs for housing, we know that we're going to need a certain amount of housing by a certain amount of time. So we have to work with local jurisdictions. A lot of housing permitting happens at the local level. But we passed some historic legislation this year that will address not only housing shortages, but the water issues, where we can convert unused agricultural land, which is very high water use, to housing. The first development was just certified in Buckeye earlier this month, so that will build 825 new homes there. And Buckeye is growing at a rapid pace, and so there's much more to come on that, but it's going to save millions of gallons of water while letting us build more housing.
It's incredible. Just as we talk about this affordability, and we talked about people being saddled with debt, that this kind of all ties together. Again, if you're just joining us right now, Governor Katie Hobbs has just announced another round of medical debt forgiveness. 141,000 Arizonans will be getting this.
That's what the envelope looks like. Don't throw that away if you have medical debt right there. That's what you're looking for in the mail.
All right, Governor Hobbs, thank you so much for revealing that exclusively here on Today in AZ. We'll be right back.